Alright, so I'll send you the links to these videos. And I got it close to the amp, so there's a little feeding back there. Plus I'm running them all off of a battery, which actually makes a difference. There's more headroom when I run them off of power. And there's a little more sag and a little more static interference when I run them off of batteries, with, don't have a ground hooked up to them. But I got everything running into the effect loop. So this is the Klon style driver with those old diodes I was telling you about. And here's the thing, because of the volume I'm playing at, I can't do what these things will do. I mean, these things will sing a lot more, but I can't. When I turn the volume down and the drive up, it gets a bass increase, it gets compressed. But I got the treble almost all the way open. I like this one because the treble is very clean sounding. It's not harsh sounding. Here's the plain sound. It is with the driver. See, I can't play so loud in here. I'm trying to be careful, but... That pickup's a little more microphonic. This pedal reacts well with microphonic pickup, so... I was trying to find that spot. Hold on, I'll be like... So that's the first driver. Not very high gain, but if I was to turn the volume up and then hit the driver harder, and these are, I play harder and play with hotter pickups, this pedal will sing, but I can't do that in here. So that's the best I can show you. And then this is the other driver. This is the OD1, which actually has a bit of gain adjustment, which will actually increase the treble and the graininess as well. I got it set almost about where I like it, but I can probably fiddle with it and show you. So here's my clean sound. Put it back in the shank. Alright. This one's a little more colored. There's a lot more compression. But also, again, because I'm rolling down the volume, this will increase the treble, let's see, and the gain. That sounds much better, huh? But then again, it's not relative because I've got the volume way low. This is not a real situation. This is not how I would play it. But it does sound better with that treble up, eh? Still compressed, but actually at that rate it sounds a little better than this one even almost, but let's see. Turn that treble up to match. Uh-oh, I'll short out the circuit. This one has the clean circuit running along with the dirty circuit. So this one, I like this one a lot. But they both sound good. And I can put them together, but it's probably gonna gain like wild. But I can't play loud here. And then here's my echo. I'll put a little gain in there. So this one, here's my clean. This one actually sounds good with a slapback. I turn up the volume on the repeat to hear what I'm doing. Then turn it down, and you hear the perceived volume increase. So I don't know if I like that. Let's see. I like to put a few more repeats than just one sometimes. Yeah, that's a little spaced. I'll put it closer together. So closer yet, maybe. And maybe I'll drop the repeats down now. Yeah, take some of the repeats away. So that's with the slapback. It's cool. And then it gets a nice slow delay. I'll put it maximum. Maximum gives you some distortion. I'll turn up the volume so you can hear it. There is distortion, obviously, on the longest delay, but it's not that harsh. Honestly, that's with a battery that's about 6 point something or 7 volts. It's actually lost a lot. When I put that in through the direct electric, it picks quite up actually. So. And it brightens up too. Yes, it does. I'll hit it with the bright circuit here. That's the slowest delay, but obviously when it come back to about here, what would that be? 2:30 o'clock. There, you lose the distortion. I could probably go a little further with less distortion. Now it's distorted past that point. That's about the least distortion there before it starts cleaning up. So we'll put more repeats on it. lot of repeats and then turn the volume way down sometimes. So that's it, and that's everything through a battery. There's a lot. I'm gonna fix this actually back to where it was, because whilst it's a little darker, I don't want that much gain on it. It is a colored circuit. Well, I can show you what it sounds like. I'll go up with it. I'll go right up with it. Ready? There's maximum gain, which is way distorted. And again, it's very compressed because, hold on, I'm going to turn this way down. Just knock the noise floor out of it, mostly, but not only. But it gets compressing because the volume is way down. It's an overdrive, not a distortion. Take that screwdriver out of there. Yeah, this one's a little more transparent, whilst neither of them with the volume turned down and the drive turned up, they both compress. So, you know, in here, there's no way around that for me if I want to get more drive. This one has a lot more drive to it. All right, I can turn it up, turn the volume way down. But now it's going to be way more compressed and more bassy. Actually not. Might have to turn the treble down a little, actually. Maybe a little more even. All right. That doesn't sound bad. It would get a lot more drive when the volume is up and I'm hitting it harder, which I can't do in here. I cannot do in here. So, yeah, I have to fiddle with this more. I'm not sure. I was going to put a line where I want it set, but there is no line where I want it set because I don't know. Because right now I've got the volume just, you know, way down. I mean, but both of these, I don't think I would play them with the drive up that high. It wouldn't be necessary. You know, maybe this one a little more so, but in a real setting, it wouldn't be necessary. You know, where I can turn the amp up, get some speaker distortion, and hit the strings harder. Ouch! Hit the strings harder. Strings, not my fingers. And you know, it's cool stuff. I mean, it's analog sounding. It's not like, you know, you're gonna plug in and rake it, brother, and then it's gonna be like, you know, like a synthesizer. You still have to play. I like that raw primitive stuff, and yet it's like severely advanced primitive stuff, right? Which is fun. It's fun. So anyway, I thought you might want to listen to them all together. Like, you know, I probably wouldn't run them together, but that's through the effects loop. That's the other thing. Like, this is going to sound completely different straight through the guitar, which I actually showed in another video. This one I showed through the effects loop. That fares well in effects loop. The OD one fares, and I played two Boss OD ones side by side, an old one and a new one, and they were grossly different sounds. Like the quality level of the sound was completely different. But I guess this is based off of that. Seems to have very few components, but what it does have is it has an 8-leg pin, but instead of the infamous 14 pin, it has an 8-leg pin, and then I noticed there's 3 tiny clipping diodes in there, which makes a total of the 14 pins. If you think about it, right? 6 and 8 is 14, so that's probably what's going on there. And it does sound a little bit sweet, actually. First compresses it sounding, and it is a colored circuit, but it will be less compressed with the volume up higher, but there's nothing I can do about that, you know. It's like a balance with that trim pot, you know, and that's about where I found the balance for at least the levels that I'm playing at, which is why I drilled a hole there. And I'm probably going to whoops, oh, sorry, brother. I'm probably going to put some legs on that thing and bring it right up. I think I showed that before anyway. And bring it right up to the, can't see anything in here, it's dark. Bring it right up to the top so it can, you know, not have a hole there, you know. That's probably the right way. Maybe I should have made the hole smaller so that the screwdriver could stand up in it and not fall over onto the circuit card, maybe, but I don't know. My other friend said I should just make a little knob there. I think he's right about it. I think I should bring it up to the top and make it into a mini knob. Basically, put a little plastic tab in there so it could be turned easily without a screwdriver. It would probably be the right way to do it. Well, there you go. That's the KLY01 clone, gold upgrade it's called. Not very high gain, but good sounding as you can hear. And that's the OD1. This one has a TL082 chip. This one has old stock seconds of clipping diodes, which I am guessing maybe they're like RCA type brand, whatever, I don't know. That's what they look like, but they're all blurry and bloated. It's hard to tell. And then this is a 2399 clock chip, or computer chip, delay chip they call it, a computerized delay chip. And then the smaller chip in this is a TL072. Both of these are old Texas Instruments chips. So it's very analog. It's not like, you know, like I said, you're not going to plug it in and it's going to be like, oh, you know, it's not going to do that. It's just, you still got to play. But they sound good. I think they sound good. And you can hear when I put the bright into this, it replicates the bright well. But I don't feel like doing it, and I only got one cord hooked up. I only have 2 power packs, or I'd show you. But you know, when I hook up the electric to these, they hit a lot harder. Like literally, what was the one I did that like literally stood on end? This Klon pedal, this KLY01. Like it literally stood on end. All that hissing and that static that you hear in there was like, you know, and it like totally stood up, you know, like the hairs on it stood up. Same thing with this delay. It did the same thing. I don't think I tried this one with the electric. I cannot remember. I don't think I did. I don't think I tried that one. I mean, I tried the electric to make sure the electric was working, but I don't think I played it with electric. But these two definitely, you know, the hair stood up like they were totally different with a grounded, you know, consistent, regulated voltage. But, you know, there's a difference there. And plus, this is the first time I'm running that through the effects loop. This one I already ran through the effects loop, and it sounded great. It sounded fine. This one I had ran through the effects loop by itself, it sounded great. I think every amp should have an effects loop. That's my opinion. This one would probably be better, you know, in line with the guitar because it doesn't steal a lot from the guitar. But I want to hook up a true bypass to it because it's not. It's a buffered bypass. But I'd like to make it, you know, like switchable. So in case I change my mind, I could choose the buffered bypass like they did in the KTR pedal. Like, you know. So I don't know if that has to have like a you know, an extra resistor so it doesn't pop or what, or you know, it can just be a switch. It probably will make a loud popping noise. This one does pop. This is true bypass. This is true bypass, which, as I explained before, a true bypass is not necessarily true bypass because I'm going through these little wires and these particular metals that these jacks are made out of, which is not necessarily the same wire as my favorite cable, right? Which totally is why another reason why I was running things through the effect loop, because this cable straight into the amp is the Strat sound I like, whilst it doesn't seem to increase or benefit the lows or the highs. It doesn't lose that high mid vocal range, which the Strat is so chanky for, right? So this is my favorite cable. So technically nothing unless it's made with the exact same, you know, chemical composition metal and the same cable wiring, which, you know, has its capacitance and its favoring for what frequencies or signals that it carries, right? What electrical signals it carries, or however that works. I don't know about science. I just glue things together. But you know, it's nothing is true bypass, but these are, for all intents and purposes, these are true bypass, these two. And it will literally go pop, 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 pop. You know, especially if you've got it in oscillating mode, which is the other thing about this delay. It won't overly oscillate. And it tends to be a little brighter than dark. I mean, you can't go too bright with these circuits, I would guess, because it would tick, as they say, which makes sense. It would, because it's a little distortion to it, especially with a battery. But like someone had pointed out about this pedal, it just gets to self-oscillating, which is nice because you can almost leave it up, turn the volume way down, you know, put the repeats closer together and get that in the background, which almost gives you that synthy sound. So this is a cool one. Anyway, I'll send you the links to them so you can see them. This one was $27. This one was $27. And this one, the Klon, the KLY01, Gold Upgrade. It's called Gold Upgrade, not high gain. This one was $45. But, you know, if you were to buy, and plus, you know, you're building it. Yeah, I cut the top like that. Yours is not going to come cut like that. You have to do that with a Dremel tool. But you know, if you buy one that's already built that sounds as good as these pedals, you know, this nice vintagey analog sound, like a Boss OD1. I don't know if this is the same exact circuit, but it makes sense. 8 pins and then 3 small, I guess they're clipping diodes that makes 14 pins, which is the famed OD1 chip. And I didn't have one of those to compare, but I did compare a very old, you know, rusty, and I looked inside of both of them, Boss OD1 with a modern one, and it was like, phew, no comparison. The quality of sound was like, you know, much cooler in the older one. But I don't know if this is the same circuit. It does remind me of it, but I didn't have a trim pot to mess with like that, which, as you can hear, totally changes the grain, the gain, and the treble factor. So, you know, but plus there it is, right? Here's my volume way down and my drive way up. That's what I'm tampering with, which, you know, my treble's all the way up to compensate for that compression. You know, this is a compressed circuit in itself anyway. It was once described on the interweb as a colored, very colored circuit. If you like to retain your dry bypass, you're not going to get it with this overdrive because it's very colored. And I said, you know what, that's a good description of the Boss OD1 if that's what this is even modeled after. But yeah, this one's $45. The KLY01, gold upgrade. It's not even gold. It's like a greenish, yellowish. It depends what light you're in. Well, I like the color. What? Yeah, I cut the top off of it and turned the card upside down, and like I showed you, rewelded the circuits on top so I could see all the stuff. But yeah, it seems a little moody at these, low headrooms with the volume so down. It seems a little compressed, and that was through the effects loop. This one didn't seem to sound as good through the effects loop as it does straight into the amp. With the guitar and then into the amp. But then again, it's not true bypass in the sense that when I shut it off, it's still buffered. So, there is some coloration there. All right, that's. They just turned on my refrigerator. I guess they want me to stop. And it's amplified and grossly loud. All right, well, I guess that's it. I just wanted to show you yeah, you can hear it in my voice. Like, I'm dealing with all kinds of stress. Like, they sent police to my door again, and the man he called 911 and said I was threatening him and making slurs at him, and I didn't. I said, the things you said to me and about me are not acceptable, and I've never harassed you. You're harassing me. And that's what I said. And he called 911 and told them that he was shaking all over and that I was not a well man and they needed police response immediately. And, it was very upsetting. So I'm scared to play my guitar and just, I miss my children. I miss my children. I mean, that part's known. That's widely known. I miss my children. One of my children thinks that this is, or at least she did, thinks that this world is some kind of a hologram or something, and she left a little thing on the interweb. She said, "Dad, I love you, Dad." Like, that's not normal. I mean, I love her too, but I want my children to know that I exist and that I'm their father and that I miss them and I think about them every day. And I remember my one little girl, I guess she was trying to tell me her real name. She kept saying, "What's my middle name, Dad?" Her middle name is Nicole, or what name she was going by, and maybe that's her real first name. But yeah, just stuff I think about. It's reasonable, right? Then I'm thinking about my children, and I'm like surrounded with apathetic assholes. Now I gotta put fucking rated G on this shit. Fuck. Anyway. I'm surrounded with apathetic assholes who make comments like, "Oh, your children will find you someday. They always do." Or I'll say, "Ah, my children." They'll say, "How you doing today?" I'll say, "My children are messed." And they'll be like, "Yeah, I know. You've said that already." I'll be like, "Wow, how fucking apathetic of you. Like, how fucking dismissive and fucking belligerently fucking annoyed of you. I miss my children," right? But there it is. So anyway. These sound great. Sorry, brother, for cursing on your sampler platter. And sorry I had all the volumes like severely low. I did. That's it. I quit. I'll never play guitar until later. All right, bye.